Hello in YouTube land, I'm Sarah, and it's time for another adventure of being Sarah. And of course, we have Rosebud right here. This is my second attempt filming this because my first attempt, it got really distracted rambly at the end. So I'm going to re-record it. So I have my handy dandy little notepad. Get my animations. Yeah. I don't actually edit, so I don't have a movie maker anymore, so on the old laptop, but that doesn't recognize the internet. So first thing I'll do is I'll go through my untried polishes. I know you're like, what? Nail polish? Yes. I have a bunch of untrieds, and so I would like to try them all. So the first one isn't technically an untried because I used it as part of some nail art. I used some nail vinyls that look like dragon scales, but they look like hearts because I used this garnet polish over Age of Aquarius, which is an aqua color. So didn't quite work exactly how I thought it would last year for my birthday, but I liked it. It just looked like hearts. So this year for my birthday, I decided to do just the garnet, because garnet birthday, January 30th, yay. Then the next one that I tried, it's a little warm in here, so it was like 70 something today, 75. Whew. The window is open and I'm like, it's hot. Don't worry, I will leave the clothes on. That's a little, reference from that song from 2001, 2002, something like that. So the next one I tried was OPI's Every Month is Oktoberfest. And that one and Germanicure were both in the same one, the same collection. And they look very similar. But, in the bottle, especially late at night, it's like, which one is which? But Germanicure is almost like root beer. It looks like root beer on my nails. And Every Month is Oktoberfest looked kind of like a winey plum burgundy sort of color. But I didn't see that until I was driving somewhere during the day. I can't remember where. But I was like, ooh, that's pretty. Because sometimes you just have to have, sunlight. So the next one that I tried was I needed something that was going to be on my nails for a long time. So I used Pretty Serious's Stupid Cupid, which I had tried previously, Cherry Bomb, which is the pink one, and then Heartbreaker, which is the purple one. And then I hadn't used the turquoise blue one, which was Stupid Cupid. It worked just as well as the other two on the long wearing factor. I kind of accidentally bumped. I can't remember if it was these two or these two. One of those sets had little smudges. Oh well. I was like, I'm not going back in now. And then the one that I have on my nails now, you can kind of see the hollow. Not really, though. There's scattered hollow in there. Pretty Serious did a series of 7 rainbow hollowy kind of things, and this one is Hydra. It's, in some lights, it looks a little pink, and yeah, I have some chipping, but I use Peel Off Base Coat because this is glitter, and it will be hard to remove. It's the same ones that is Lyra. So while I'm talking about chitter-chattering about nail polish, I might as well show you my nail polish haul. And I have more nail polishes coming from a discount website, but I'm not sure when they'll be here. So Pretty Serious is discontinuing a bunch of polishes. Most of them. They're bringing new polishes in, but they're not going to continue to keep the old ones. two of them that I am kind of disappointed that they are discontinuing that I already have, but I would like a backup of because, being discontinued, is Type 40, which I'm actually a little surprised that their sales numbers are not as good as they probably could be, because it's Type 40 is the TARDIS. It's a TARDIS blue polish. I wore it last year, the last day of Mysticon. Yeah, and then I added, maybe it was the last two. I don't really remember. But I wore it then a day with black tips, and then I painted over it with black. But so I'm a little surprised that their sales aren't better on that. But then again, Whovians may not know about it. So the other one that I'm kind of really disappointed in, the sorry, that was driving me a little nuts. Anyway, the other one that I'm really disappointed that they have discontinued is one called, oops, moving stuff around over here and I dropped stuff. Bad me. Is one called Wicked Wasteland. And the tagline for that is the Empress surveys all she sees, her empire. It's something about an empire of dirt. And sometimes, you can get really down on yourself sometimes. And there was one time that I really didn't like myself. And I just felt bad about just a whole bunch of stuff. And it was also kind of a little bit of poor me, but, whatever. So I decided, well, why not put on the Princess of Dirt? So I did. It's just like one coat, I think it was. Just one coat. I usually do two because painting your nails is fun. So I put that on and I felt so much better because I was Princess of Dirt. So they're going to do one more restock for most of them. And the hollows are also being discontinued as of March 31st, I think. So I would suggest get them now if you can. They're going to do one more restock for most of them, but then that's it. But not to worry. For most of their back catalog, I have things over here in plastic bags in case you hear anything. In case you missed something, that most of the back catalog, I think about 95% they were saying, will eventually go on to what they call special orders, where you basically say, hey, I want to order blah, blah, blah. And they make a special order to the lab where they mix them up or whatever it is, and then it'll be a little more expensive. But if you missed out on that red cream, which is actually not too dissimilar, that red orange-based cream called Stud Muffin, which, by the way, that last I looked was still in stock, and it's gorgeous. I just don't wear a lot of red-based creams, or orange-based reds. That's what I was trying to say. I don't wear a whole lot of orange-based reds. I kind of prefer the blue-based reds rather than the orange ones. But either way, it's beautiful. So, I would suggest get that if you don't have it. However, if you miss out on it, you can always pick it up later with that special request. It's just a little more expensive. So, you do the best you can, kind of thing. So, I realized, aside from the two that... Sorry, some prop issues. Aside from the two that I really want that they don't have in stock in the U.S. store, they have an Australian store. This is the U.S. one because U.S. That there were a few of them that I really did want to pick up. One of them, this first one, I basically say they had a discount code, so I used that, so I saved 20% on the discounted one. So basically, I got a free polish. So this first one is not a discontinued polish. I'm sure it will be because it was limited edition. That was one of the owners created for her wedding, and it was limited edition, and it was discontinued, and they brought it back, and it's gorgeous, by the way. You see a lot of the glitter in this. It's a red jelly base with loads of purple glitters in there. And it is called Bloody Bride. And I've not used any of these yet, so who knows when these will be in the I have tried it. So I was like, I didn't want to, miss out on that again. I think there was another one that went with it, but I don't know. This was actually the last one I added to my cart. It's called Grim Demise, and it has to do with like Grimm's fairy tales and like the show Grimm. And I think it was called like an evergreen something or other. I don't know. It's really pretty. Mom's like, you need to save this for St. Patrick's Day. And they had found, when they were going through their warehouse, they had found like individual polishes of different ones. And this is one that I had in the cart, and then by the time I went to check out, it was gone. Man, can't fault them. Fault whoever got it. I was not happy about it, because it's pretty. But, it is what it is. So, I was like, oh yeah, because I kept thinking that I had it, but then I realized, no, you think you had it because you had put it in your cart and then weren't able to get it. Okay, so I love me a Pretty Serious cream, and they're discontinuing some of them. I did not get all the ones I don't have. I would just like to point that out. This one, it shows up a lot more teal on the site, but in person it kind of looks like a gray, a teal-based gray. But this is Baron von Beautiful, which is part of the awkward pet names thing. They're keeping the pastel ones, but they're discontinuing them. Or the other ones, like Honey Puff. Yeah, stuff like that. I know, I'm already, nearly 13 minutes in, and yeah, I haven't talked about Flosstube stuff. The next one is a bright purple. It's not the same color as the Prince nail polish, but this one's called Lacy Underthings. And I'm like, I bet this would be a beautiful long-term nail polish. And then I got two that, for the longest part, kept getting, like, I couldn't catch them in stock. Well, I couldn't catch this one in stock. It's a darkened green jelly base with purple and blue glitters in it, and it's called Herald of the Skeleton War. And I kind of course, thought of McKenna just for the skeleton part. And the other one is also a McKenna name. And this one is like a purple jelly base, a black and purple jelly base, and it's got the blue glitters. I think there may be hollow in here too. I'm not entirely for sure. But this one is Macabre. But both of those are being discontinued, and no, McKenna cannot have my polish. I'm just saying. So, that was a bit of haul and a bit of nail polish stuff. And yeah, I'm almost 15 minutes in. I'm just going to keep going. So, I'm treating each part of it's hot. I'm treating each part of the Guardian Sow as like a new start. very much like Katie was doing when she was doing the year of starts the first year, where she had like things with like 12 pieces and each one of was a thing. So yeah, I have the Guardians February as my new start, and I worked on it, of course, because you know, me being me, and I'm going to count them as individual finishes. So I had, of course, here's the Gardens of Notre Dame, Ingleside Imaginarium. Try to say Inglewood, I'm like, no. Hopefully this will show up better than the pictures that I tried to do. Evidently, stupid laptop camera does not like daylight. It's like, okay, because this was not showing up correctly. So there's January and February, and I got the frame done. So I feel like I got 2 finishes in. And I am just waiting for, looks like I have 12 days left, because it's after midnight. I have 12 days left until March. So I'm really looking forward to that. We kind of got a little sneak preview. So we know that the March one is going to be green, and so there's like 4 sets of colors, and the last one is like a pink, and that'll be for April, which I kind of think, you know, spring flowers, etc., etc. Moving stuff around. So that was New Start worked on and finished right there. I didn't have any actual other finishes. You know. Sorry, I was reading my notes and I realized that I put Paul Faces a Fairy 161. No, I did not buy that one again. Let's see. So, one of the things I worked on was, of course, this poppy picture, because I think it would be nice to get this done. This one is in timeout, because somehow this portion right here is off. I don't know. It seems to, it's not right this way, but I can't tell if it's not right this way. But things counted right from this. I don't know. I am not dealing with that right now. It is in timeout, and it will stay in timeout until I am good and ready to deal with you. Yes, I've just pitched it across the room. So yeah, it's going to stay over there. As I said, I had to find a color that would wear not long term, but have good wear time. Last week, because I had gone out of town. The reason for that is mid-January, my dad had a stroke. He's getting on up there in age, and he didn't actually tell any of us until like weeks later. He has gotten yelled at by his doctor and various people. He is doing very, very well for having had a stroke mid-January. I went down, when was that? Saturday before last. It was calendar. Show me the calendar. On the 3rd. That's what it was. I went down on the 3rd because I was a little worried about like the weather, and then I didn't want to just like jump in the car and go rush and take him to the hospital, because he had already gone to the hospital and he got checked out, and he's gone and seen specialists, and he has more specialists that he has to go to, and blah blah blah. But so once I saw him on the 3rd, I felt a lot more reassured about what was going on with him. And then on Tuesday the 6th through the 9th, which was last Friday, I went down and I stayed with him. We went to Walmart a few times. We did a lot of a lot more errands than I kind of anticipated, but whatever. We took stuff down to his new house, took stuff back to the old house. He's trying to sell Granddad's house because Granddad passed away a few years ago, and we try and get the thing on the market, sold, blah, blah, blah. And so originally he was supposed to travel the country in a van, and he decided later, no, I'm going to have a home base. So he got a home base, and he's transitioning over to it. I really like it, actually. It's a trailer. It's a large trailer. But the layout is really nice. If it wasn't in the back of Beyond with rural roads and stuff, I would be very tempted to live there, like in a house like that. If it was in a more populated area, I would have absolutely zero problem living in something like that because it's a nice layout. Let's see. So he's doing very well. He still has some problems with the fine motor stuff, but I'm sure that will improve with time and therapy and things like that. So that was an adventure. But while I was down there, I had pulled out, and I had taken this with me, which I'm doing this. It's only 100 by 75, so it's tiny. And I'm using 3 strands tenting on 22 count over 1, of course. As I said, it's tiny. So it's a little harder to see. There's the unicorn horn, but this is one of the ones that I had lost and found. So I was like, well, gee, I should just finish this. And then I kind of got a little burned out on it because I've worked on it for 3 days? Something like that. I'm like, yeah, I want to work on something else because this is me. I do that. So I pulled out all the small colors. Some of these only have 1 stitch. And I still have 9 more to pull out and blah, blah, blah. But there's 2 other ones in here. And so if you want to leave your opinions about this down in the comments, that it would be much appreciated because I can't tell. I'm not planning on doing this now, but I want to do these 2 ones because it's the same artist, basically same subject matter, unicorns. I want them to match that one, so I'm going to do them on 22 count, 3 strands for tenting. And one of them is Quick Stitch Unicorn Valley, and then the other one on the hate side is Rainbow Valley instead of Unicorn Valley, even though the name of it says Unicorn Valley on the thing, on the cover page. There's this one, and I didn't realize it when I was getting it, that this is really just a close-up of this one. This one's closer in size to that one, but there's also this. So I can't really decide. There's a lovely rainbow behind them, which of course I don't have in this. So I just need to figure that out. So yeah, those happened. And I really do want to go back and finish this so I can get a finish. That would be nice. That way I don't have to fret about losing it. So this next one, which is another big one, there is pictures. There's a picture. This one requires a little bit of explanation. It is my Olympics project because a few years ago, I can't remember if it was in one of the Facebook groups or if it was on the bulletin board, somebody had mentioned that they have an Olympics project, and the whole idea is she had started it like at the beginning of the Olympics, and then the goal is to get it done by the next Olympics. She didn't actually qualify whether it was the same, like summer to summer or summer to winter, winter to summer, blah, blah, blah. But it was always full-size, big projects. I'm like, you go. Cool. So I decided in 2012 for the Summer Olympics, so July 27th, 2012, I started this. I thought I was going to be able to get this done by Winter Olympics 2014. That didn't happen. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to get it done for Rio. I'm going to get it done before Rio so that way I can start the Maya and Aztec montage. That didn't happen. No. I have the pattern. I'm pretty sure I have the pattern. But then they came out supersized. And I never got around to getting the floss or fabric or anything like that. And yeah, Rio is well past. We're in Pyeongchang. Pyeongchang. The Olympics. So, I was like, well, I better pull this out and get more done on this. And I'd like to get this done. So, the backstory behind the pattern itself has to do with when I first got any of the heids. I was originally never ever going to get any heids because they looked like way too complicated and fussy and whatever and unnecessary, blah blah blah. But then I was playing my first Pathfinder character in my first Pathfinder game. That was a tongue twister. And so I picked out a picture, Quick Stitch Lotus Wood, whatever, to be the character, except the character has red hair, not blonde. And so then I also found this one, which is Rendezvous. And I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Tanith, who's my first character, and her husband Corsair. So, of course I had to get this because Tanith and Corsair. I, of course, started down in here because that's the way I do. And so here is, and I kind of got a little sick of it because I couldn't find this color. Somehow it had worked itself under the chill mat thingy, which is a wedge triangle thing. I'm like, I didn't go anywhere. I was watching The Hobbit. Yeah, one of the Hobbits. Anyway, so this is how much I have gotten done. Sorry, this. And that was annoying. No, don't go anywhere. Stupid floss. So I had gotten most of everything above here, and then some of this tan and black, and then this pink stuff. I had to do some frogging here because somehow I missed like a section or a row or whatever. But not bad for a few days worth of work. And I will be going back to this pretty soon. I have some other things that I want to do first. But I will be going back to it. Because, as I said, I would really like to be done with this. So, one of the things I have been working on the past couple days was, of course, I came back to 161. And so I also realized that I really like using this hoop because when I stitch, I hold it with this hand and the upper part with my non-dominant hand because I can see it, and with my dominant hand is underneath, so I can feel it. I have to look where this one's going though. But so I'm like, yeah, I really like. It feels like I can go faster with the hoop. I don't know. It is maybe not for everybody, but whatever. So here is how much I've gotten done. I finished this color, and then I decided I would come back down here and finish off the colors that I had pulled out, which was just 666 and 310. So I have a little bit more of the 310 here, and then I have a little bit more of, well, okay, maybe a lot bit more of the red. And I decided to take a bit of a break from that, at least for tonight, because I have a new segment. I have animations for you. The reason for this will be apparent soon, but this particular one I want to do for my cousin, who is a French teacher. She's been a French teacher for at least a decade, something like that. She's gone to France. She speaks French. She went and did her college stuff for French, and she likes French. And so I had found this particular, this little kid at Seymour. I'm like, oh, that would be so cute. And there's really actually not that much stitching to it, like cross-stitch part. There's a lot of backstitch. But some of it's words, and the words seem to not take so long. And so I told myself, there's a thing. You should finish it. So that's my new segment. There's a thing. You should finish it. So, if you hadn't guessed, it's Vive la France. And I in the original version of this video, I was not quite as far along as I am now, because I went up this side, and then, because it was about yay long, so I did that much, and then I'm coming up this side. And my goal is, before I go to sleep, that I want to do those bits which are in half crosses. And then there's the words. The words, and most of this, all that is backstitching. So, looks a little naked now, but you can see where this stuff is. Because I would like to be able to put it in a frame, which is, of course, my least favorite part. To put it in a frame and then get it down to my dad's, because my cousin and her husband are going to come back and get things, the big furniture things that are supposed to go to people. Like there's a hutch. I helped clean out part of the hutch. So, yeah. So, there's a thing. I should finish it. I like this a little too much, I think. And so, another new segment is, it's a twofold one. Sometimes you may see, the internet made me do it, or the internet made me buy it. And I do have one of those today. So, he is having a 50% off sale. So, they also released Faces of Fairy 239. And so I had to get it because the internet made me buy it. I'm way more ridiculously silly over that than I should be. Oh well. So, there's another thing that I want to get. I haven't figured out exactly which ones I'm going to get, but I came across, because of Twitter. I follow I can't remember, the Crynet Girl or something like that, and she had posted a link to something that looks like a movie poster or something like that with a fortune teller. I'm like, what? So I went and I went to look at the thing, at the link, and there are a bunch of D&D RPG apt patterns. One of the ones that I know I'm definitely going to get, it's from Veil Stitchery. Sorry. My screen is over here, and the logo is up in the top corner, and Rosebud is sitting right in front of it. Thank you, Rosebud. But one of the ones that I'm definitely going to get is called Are You Sure? And it's kind of looks like a cracked mirror, and it has this border around it and a skull at the top, and in red it says Are You Sure? And the write-up says, you really want to touch that coffin, really, really wanna. Your game master raises an eyebrow and steeples his fingers. Are you sure? He asks, his gaze piercing you over his fingertips. You hesitate for a moment, but only a moment. And it says, this design is a fun take on the elements of role-playing and would make a great gift for any game master or dungeon master, DM, and I can stitch it myself, thank you. But once I figure out what I'm going to get, I'll tell you guys more about that. Because I know there's several of these. There's one that says, beware the smiling dungeon master. Very important. So, once I figure those out, I'll tell you, as I said, I'll tell you more about that. And so the only other thing that really happened of note was car inspection, because evidently last year as this year, I kind of forgot that I kind of need to do that before the end of the month, because if you're not aware, if you're in a different country, the way it is in the U.S., and I'm not sure if it's all over the U.S. or if it's just in Virginia, but you have to get your car inspected every year. And if there's something wrong, you have to get it fixed, blah, blah, blah. And they have a sticker. And the sticker will have the following year, so when you need to get it done by the next year. So, my current inspection sticker, which they changed the place, I'm like, where's the inspection? Oh, it's over there. Yeah. Okay, so, and now it says 19 instead of 18, because before it said 18. And it will have the month, one for January, etc. And so you can get it inspected any time before then if you really wanted to, but why would you? But I could have gotten it inspected from January 1st through January 31st, because it was a 1/18. Yeah, I remembered on 1/30, January 30th. Yeah. So guess what I was doing on the 31st? Yeah. So, I get myself up early. I get all ready. I take Guardians with me. I trundle on down to the place where I like to get my car inspected. And they're like, well, we can't really get to it until after lunch. I'm like, okay, when is that? When's a good time? Okay, so 1 o'clock. Alrighty, so yeah, I have some hours to kill, because it was before 10 o'clock. So I decided, well, I'm going to multitask. While I'm out, I will go use that AC Moore coupon. Because AC Moore has this, the points reward system. Basically, it used to be spend $1, get a point. Now it's every 10 cents it's a point. So technically, I guess you can go accrue this faster, but basically it's spend $200, get a $10 gift certificate or reward certificate or whatever, which mine came today. Because I needed like 491 points or something like that, so I'm like, I don't want to spend that much. But sometimes they'll send you coupons where if you spend a certain amount, you get this many points. So they had one for my birthday month, which was spend $5 or something like that and get 250 points. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it was, you can't use them multiple coupons to get multiple points. It would be nice. I'd have to go in 3 times or whatever. But the next one was spend $10, get 500 points. I'm like, ooh, that's even better. I mean, you know, because I needed 490 points or 91 points or something like that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'd rather do one with the 500 points than the 250 and then have to spend more money, blah, blah, blah. Then the one I used was spend $5 and get 500 points. Yes, I think that will be what I will do. So of course I take myself over. And I'm like, well, I don't really need it. There's not really any cross stitch stuff that's going to be like $5. I don't have any specific needs for floss. So I was like, okay, let's see what they have in yarn, because I can always use more yarn for like the bears. Well, they had sale yarn. They had big things of sale yarn. I'm like, okay, cool. So I spent a little more than I had intended, but I got some really big skeins of yarn that were on sale. And then they had like this pretty sock yarn that had like sparkly stuff in it. I'm like, ooh, I should try this out. Because I always like, sock yarn. Plus, one of them was really, really pretty. And I'm like, ooh, I want this and this. So I got the green one. Although there's a silver and copper one or something like that. Either way, it's really pretty. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get some of this stuff and then I'll go back to the car place. So that's what I did, and it got all inspected and oil changed, and oh, you need new wipers. Okay. So yeah, I got more stitched on Guardians while I was there. So yeah, that's how my time since the last time I saw you guys. My plans, technically I forgot to put anything under plans. So evidently I either have no plans or have all the plans. So I guess technically my plans are to try to finish Vive la France, try to get as much done on 161 before I go back to Rendezvous, and I need to do Rendezvous. And there is a JBG, Jasmine Beckett Griffith, Haid group that they want to do a stitch along in, and so we basically decided, let's everybody just pick the quick stitch you want, which I have a quick stitch started, I just don't have much done on it. So I was like, can I use that? And they were like, okay, it's not much. Cool. So I'm going to pull out quick stitch Rose Fairy, and that's like a once a week thing, so I will try to get some of that done later today. So maybe you will see more of these signs. Hopefully I will finish it, and we'll see y'all later. Okay, bye.